Good everyone, my name is Graphics. Today we want to construct the tooth of a gear, like having size maybe 4, 3 and so on and so forth. Now, we know a gear is used to change the speed of a car, right, or the speed of a motor. So we want to construct the teeth of a gear. We are given the number of teeth to be 25 and the pressure angle to be 20 degree, the module to be 10 millimeter, right? So the first thing you draw in the gear should be the PCD, right? So the first thing, you are given these 3 parameters here. So the first thing you should be working on should be the PCD, which is called the pitch cycle diameter. So how do you calculate for the pitch cycle diameter? We know very well that my PCD is equals to what? The module times what? The number of what? Of teeth, right? And what's our module? Our module is given to be what? 10, and our number of teeth is what? 25, right? And this will now give us 250 millimeter. So the PCD given to be 250 millimeter. Now for you to draw a cycle, you need to use the radius of a cycle, and a cycle is made up of what? Diameter. So we need half of this to draw our PCD. So 250 divided by 2 will give me 125. So I will draw this, take my T-square. From this point I will draw a line straight and I'll stop here, right? And I'm going to measure 125 from this point here, 125 from this point here, and this is, or let me put it here, 125, right? So, or I use this to do my 125 from 0, and I will stop here, right? So let me start from here. From here to this point is what? 125. So this is my point. Let me call it point R. To this point is what? 125. So I'll take my compass and I'm going to place it at this arrow with the rate of 125 here. You can see that? And I'm going to draw my arc from here. You can look that very well. So we'll have this. So you can see that I've drawn a line like this, and that is my PCD from this point here. So what I'll do now, the next thing I'll do is this. So here is my PCD. This will be my PCD. So what I'll do is this point now will be my reference point. So just to differentiate it from other cycle that I'll be drawing, I'll just draw a tangential line that will be touching this point like this. So whatever measurement I measure from here. Now the next thing we'll be drawing should be our addendum. Our next thing should be what? Addendum. We know the addendum is the radial height of the teeth above the PCD, right? So what I'll do is this. The addendum is equal to the module. So the addendum is equal to what? The module. Now what I'll do, if our module is what? What's our module here? It is 10. So it means that what? My addendum also is 10. Yeah. So I'll measure the addendum from the top of the PCD, or better still, if from here to here is 125, if I add 10 to 125, I'll be having what? 135. So I'm going to measure 135 with my compass. I'll measure 135 with my compass. This is my meter rule. So if I measure 135 with my compass like this, I hope you can see what I'm doing here. So from 0 here, I'll measure 135 to this point here. To this 135 here. And I'll place it here. Then I'll draw my other arc. can see that. So that will be my addendum. Addendum. Are we good? So I should just be able to extend this a little bit from here. So this line. Can see that. Now the next one I want to draw will be my addendum. The addendum is the radial depth of the teeth below the pitch circle, right? So the addendum, I'll fill it here. So the calculation for it will be my addendum is equals to what? Addendum plus what? Clearance angle. Right? Now, we know our addendum here is what? Is 10. So it means 10 plus, what is the clearance angle? It means that 0.25 multiplied by what? Multiplied by the module. Right? And what is the module? The module is 10. So I will say that 10 plus module is 10, 0.25 times 10. So we're having 10 plus 2.5. So we're having this to be what? 12.5. 12.5. So my addendum is what? 12.5. So what you do is this. From this point here, we measure 12.5 downward, or we know that from here to here is 125. So try 125 from 12.5 from 125, you have what you want to get. But the best way to do it is just measure 12.5 downward. So I'll take my meter rule and I'm going to measure 12.5 downward here. So from here I have this is 10, this is 12.5, somewhere around here. Are we good? So I'm going to just measure it here. This is my addendum. So I'll take my compass, I'll place it on this my reference point here and adjust the compass to that point. Right? So what I do is I'm going to draw this guy this way. Can you see that? So that will be my addendum. The addendum. Now the next thing I want to draw will be my BCD, which is called the base cycle diameter. So the base cycle diameter, I'll fill it in here. Now the base cycle diameter is the PCD cos the pressure angle. So what we'll do, my BCD is equals to what? PCD cos the pressure angle. So we use the symbol psi to represent the pressure angle, and like PCD is given as what? 250. So I'll be having 250. I'll be having 250 cos 20 degree, and 250 cos 20 will give me, we'll be having 234.92. That's my BCD. So I'll write it here. That is what? 234.92. Now, you know we are working with radius here. We only need part of the gear, not everything. So you divide 234.92 divided by 2 to get the radius of it, and that will give me 117.46. So I'll take my meter rule here and place it at R rule, which is my reference point here. Now measure 117.46. So 117.5. So measure this 0 is 100, is 110, 15, 16, 17.5, somewhere around here. Right? So I'll take my compass and I'm going to draw a circle from that point. I'll adjust my compass to that point. Right? I'm going to draw it this way. So that will be my BCD. So that will be my BCD. So I'm just naming them. Now when I'm trying to recognize them, it will not be difficult for me. So now the next, after getting all these points, now the next thing is that I'm going to do is to take points, the highest point of the tooth, which is the addendum, as point A, and the base point will be what? Point E, right? Take the highest point of point A and take the base circle to be what? Point E on the same line. So let me just zoom this so you see what I'm talking about. So I'm zooming this. So we want to work on this part here. Take it up a little bit. So I took on the highest point A and on the base circle, which is what? E. So this second to last line is the base circle. So I'll look for 1/3 of AE, right? So 1/3 of AE, I'll just measure from E to A, and that is like 19, yes? So I'll divide 19 by 3. So I'm looking for 1/3 of it. So dividing 19 by 3, 19 divided by 3, I'll be having 6.33. So I'm going to measure 6.33 from A. So I'm starting from 1, going backward. This is from 1 to this point is 5. This is 6.33, somewhere around here. So I'll mark that point to be what? My point B. Right? So this is my point B here. You can just use your line division and do that, but this is more faster and easier. Now I'm going to draw a tangential line from point B that will touch the what? The base circle, tangential to the base circle. So I'll draw a line like this, tangential to what? The base circle, this way. You can see that. Make it clearer for you to see. So tangential to what? The base circle. And I will mark a point on that line, closer to this point here. I'll mark that point. I'll call it point what? Point F. Right? After that, I'm now going to get 1/4 of what? FB. 1/4 of FB means I'll measure FB from 0 to B, from F to B. It's giving me 48, right? And I'll divide it by 4. So I'll divide FB 48 by 4, 48 divided by 4, and that's giving me 12. So I'm going to measure 12 from F. 12 from F is 12 here. So one thing I want you to understand is that it varies, it can change in yours. So whatever you measure, you get to divide it by what? By 4. That is what you use here to get 1/4 of FB to get what? D. Also at AE also it also varies too. Now I'll now place my compass at point R, right? And I'll take it to D to get my radial line, right? So if I do that, I'll get this. I'll draw it from this point downward as my radial line, just above the base circle. That's my radial line. From point D, as you can see, I'll place my compass at B and I'll draw an arc this way to touch here. Here should just be more of a faint line, but from this point upward should be like this. So where the line cuts my PCD will be what? Called point C. Now the next thing I'll draw is to draw the tooth thickness. So we know very well that my circular pitch, let me put it here, my circular pitch is equals to what? The pi times what? Module. And we know pi is 3.142. The module is 10, right? I'll be having 31.42 as my CP. So I'm going to fill it into my table there, like this. So that's the circular pitch, which is 31.42. Then the next one will now be the circular tooth thickness. We fill it in. So we know that our circular tooth thickness, CTT, is equals to what? The pi times module all over what? 2. Okay, we're dealing with what? The radius. And that will give me what? 15.71. Right? I'm going to write it, circular teeth thickness here. So we're having 15.71. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to measure 15.71 on my meter rule, like this. This is from 0, this is 15, this is 71 here, right? And I'll place it on my C, on this C here. So let me enlarge it so you see what I'm talking about. So I'll place it on the C. I'll start marking around. This is 1, so this and this making 1 teeth. Around again, 1, 2, making 2 sides of teeth. From that same point here, C also 1, 2, making 3 sides of teeth. Are we good? I can continue if I want to. I can continue if I want to. Right? So I can have 1. Right? I have it this way, 1. You can see that. Will come again 2. So we'll have a number of teeth. So let's start constructing. Let's go back to where we are. So since I've already gotten this with this radius here from D to what? To B, together arc. So that means that's what I'll use for everything. So if I place it at the left hand side, no, this is right, this is left. If I place it here at this point here, I'm going to mark on the radial arc just above the base circle, that line I draw from D, the line I'm drawing from D like this. So I'll just mark on the line, and I'm going to switch. Why am I switching? Because at this point here I cannot get this because this side is sharpened, so I need the pencil edge to be at this side here. So instead of me to, I'll just change the position of it, so that this side now, the sharp edge will now be on this point here, and here will now be my pencil edge, so I can easily now cut in this way. Right? So that's what we have. That is one teeth. I'll go to the other one again. This is the right hand side. I'm going to mark on the left side, which is under my what? That my line D that I drew earlier. This D, this line D. I'm going to mark on it here. Let me show. And this is it. I've marked on it. This is the D here, right? So from this point, I'm marking on it. So I'll now switch it. I'm switching it. Place this one here, and I'll come here. So I'm going to draw this too. So I'll come here. This is the left hand side. I'll mark on the right hand side on the part of D. I'll switch it also. Place it here. And I'll get this. These 2 teeth. So let's just do one more again. So let's come to this point. This is right, left. If I place it on the left hand side, I'll mark on D on the right hand side. This is D on the right hand side here. I'll switch it. Come here and I'll get this. If I come on the right hand side, I'll mark on that line of D on the left hand side. I'll switch it. I'm going to mark this. So I've drawn 3 sides of teeth like this, right? So for me to close the top, I'll place it at arrow, and I'll rise it up to the top here, where I can just close it up, and close it up, and close it up. Now what is remaining is the fillet here. So how do I get the fillet? I'm going to measure the distance of the teeth from the beginning of the teeth to the corresponding beginning of the next teeth. That means we'll call it the wide out. You get the wide out. So I'll measure from here, right, to the next one here. So what am I seeing here? I'm seeing 35, 38. So 38 divided by 7. So I'll divide it by 7. 38 divided by 7. So that will give me 5.42. So we know that my wider is equal to what? My fillet is equal to the wider over what? Over 7. That is my fillet. Are we good? So y over 7. And y that we got was 38 divided by 7. You need to arrange this uniformly. And we're having 5.42 millimeter. So with my compass, I'm going to measure 5.42. This is from here to here, maybe somewhere around here, 5.5. And I'll place it on this point here. So I'll cut on the above guy here, and I'll cut on the below guy here, on this line here, on these 2 points here, just like I want to bisect a line. So from that point, I'll draw an arc with the same radius. I'll place it here also, draw that arc where they intersect, where both of them intersect at this point. I'll take my compass and place on that point, and I'm going to join these 2 lines together. Right? I'll do the same thing too from here also, where they meet. I'll strike an arc up. Also strike an arc here also with the same radius. Place it here, strike an arc, and also place it here also, strike an arc. So where they meet, I'm going to also draw an arc here. So I'll be having what I want to get there. So you do the same thing at the next one too. At this point where it meets, you can see you cut with the same 5.42. You mark down here, you come here, you mark up here. Then you come at this point, you strike an arc up. Come at this point also, strike an arc here. So where they meet, place your compass there, you get something like this. You do the same thing here. At the end of the day, you have something like this. You come here to the same 5 that you measured earlier, which is still the same thing. 5 point. Place it here where they meet, and you mark on this, and you mark here, just like you've been doing. And you place it with the same radius. You strike an arc, same radius here, strike an arc. So where they cut, you use your compass and you join. Right? So this is a gear of size 3, right? I will call it a Spur Gear, right? So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and don't forget, this your table is very important, and make some calculations. Thank you very much.